Hello to God's people. My name is Jack, and I want to talk to you about the Bible, God, everything, and how it's all related. I want to speak briefly on arguments. We've all had arguments, and for myself, I know I've been a part of some of the most childish arguments known to man with strangers and loved ones alike. I'm going to read to you from the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 19. A brother offended is harder to be won than a strong city, and their contentions are like the bars of a castle. Well, what is this saying? It is extremely difficult to come back from certain arguments. Once you've said certain things, you can't unsay them. You can't undo certain damage. It is extremely hard. Now, through God, all things are possible. But with man, certain things aren't possible. It is extremely difficult to do it on your own. And when there is not a God, and when there's not God in your relationships, be it with your family or be it in yourself, because you don't know what strangers have. You may strike up an argument with a stranger, or vice versa, they might strike up one with you. You don't know what it's going to take to right that wrong. You may not be willing to do what it takes to get that relationship back on track. Now, it is so important, especially with your loved ones and with people that you know personally. It's so important that you do your diligence to make these things right, to not cause harm in the relationship, because not only does this affect yourselves and whoever you are having the argument with, but the sins of the father are visited unto the children. Think about your future. Think about the children that come after you. And if this is a family affair, think about that relationship that is being shattered upon generations, because that same type of argument that you had with your loved one, that's the same type of problem that your children are going to have with their loved ones. It is going to be harder and harder to break that cycle the longer you stay in that sin. Those curses are going to multiply after themselves, and it's just going to become more and more difficult to make right the situation. A brother offended is harder to be won than a strong city. It is extremely hard to take over a strong city, especially if you're not using the precepts that God gave you. And their contentions are like the bars of a castle. Bars of a castle are typically made of iron, and you know how strong iron is. So I like to ask myself in the middle of arguments, how important is it really for me to be right in this situation? If either one of us were to be called home, if God were to call either one of us home in this day or before we right this situation, what are we going to leave here with our children or with our family? What type of situation are you leaving with them? Because you don't know when your time is up. So do your due diligence to try your best not to offend people unnecessarily. Open rebuke is better than secret love, but there's a time for and a place for all things, said the Lord. But my name is Jack. I hope this blesses everyone who hears it. Bless you individually and collectively, because I really do appreciate you watching. Please consider subscribing, and don't forget to praise God.